It's a case that's garnered national attention and a whole lot of intrigue. Opening statements taking place today in the sex trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's longtime partner. Sarah Williamson is live in the newsroom with the latest. Sarah.
Yes, well, it's day one of that 6-week trial of 59-year-old Ghislaine Maxwell, who is an alleged accomplice of the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the trial was delayed by 2 hours this morning as Judge Nathan sorted out issues involving the jury, but opening arguments were well underway, with federal prosecutor Lara Pomerantz describing Ghislaine Maxwell as a predator who targeted and sexually exploited young girls. She also told the jury Maxwell helped normalise abusive sexual conduct and then served them up to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Maxwell entered the courtroom today without handcuffs, wearing a cream-coloured sweater and black pants. There were about 24 spectators that lined the courtroom benches during opening statements, but there was no media allowed in the courtroom whatsoever. Maxwell is facing 6 criminal charges in this trial, centering around 4 accusers who say she groomed them between the years of 1994 and 2004 when they were underage. Those accusers, now adults, are expected to testify at trial, some who are using pseudonyms or partial names, and who prosecutors have said. And it's also important to mention that Virginia Giuffre is not one of these accusers and isn't expected to testify, despite being a key figure in the case against Epstein. Maxwell's lawyers have signalled that they will try to undermine the credibility of the accuser's testimony, and cognitive psychologist and human memory expert Elizabeth Loftus is said to be heavily involved in assisting Maxwell's defence. Now, this trial has gained worldwide attention and is widely seen as a proxy for the prosecution of Epstein. And from outside the courtroom today, there was news crews from across the globe all covering this trial today. So it really has become the case that has captured everyone's attention and is likely to do so for the next 6 weeks. Bob.
Thanks, Sarah. The Ghislaine Maxwell trial isn't the only thing making headlines. We also have seen this trial, Bob, on Jussie Smollett. What do we know about that today?
Yeah, also jury selection, I believe, beginning today. Let's bring back our panel to talk about both of these cases. These aren't being televised. And I think that's kind of interesting because we saw some recent cases that were televised. To me, Ford, I think this Smollett case should last about 20 minutes, but we know that there are a lot of gyrations here, he apparently created a scenario that did not happen. He was charged with such, and then those allegations were dropped. And then he's been recharged with that, and we'll see how this turns out. But I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Well, look, Jussie Smollett should be held accountable because he perpetuated a fraud upon the American people. Unfortunately, who will not be held accountable here are the Democrats and the mainstream media who continue to promote this lie because to them it's more important to promote wokeness over the truth, and they continue to do that. And when the truth comes out, they're not going to care because they're not going to be held accountable. And what they're going to do is go on and picking any narrative that they like to continue to promote their woke agenda, irrespective of the truth, and it's destroying America from within.
Yeah, Melanie. I was just going to jump in. Melanie, I wanted to get your thoughts on this also because this kind of case really drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy, too, because when there is actual racism that needs to be addressed, right. This is the kind of case where people say, there's really not any racism. And really, every time I think about this case, I think about how hilarious it is that someone would actually say Chicago is MAGA country. Like, it sounds like someone who was trying to make it look like it was racism would say. Melanie, it doesn't sound like someone who was actually a MAGA person.
And in case people aren't aware with it, he said he was attacked by a couple guys that were wearing MAGA hats, I think, and they attacked him with their hands and hurt him. And I just wanted to make that clear that that was what he claimed, and there was no evidence to prove that. In case people weren't familiar with this, because this goes back a while. I mean, and then the DA dropped the case. And then it came back. Mercedes, this has been a mess. And I'm trying to be careful with my words because I don't want somebody like Smollett to go find somebody to sue us for saying we're saying he's guilty. That's why he's in court right now.
Right, and it's also, Bob, to your point, there's that celebrity status, right? That in terms of they should be treated maybe differently than, other individuals that have committed a crime. So actually, you got to give credit to the former Chicago mayor, Rahm Emanuel, who was like, no, we got to take up this case, which I thought was interesting. But let me ask you, Ford, on this issue of Ghislaine Maxwell. We have this this issue of the bail that's come up. And Maxwell's brother wants to make it clear that Ghislaine should be out and is not being treated fairly. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to save everyone watching this segment a lot of time and tell you that basically the fix is in. We are going to go through the motions. We're going to hold a trial. Maxwell's going to get a slap on the wrist. The full truth about the actions of both Maxwell and Epstein will never come out because too many powerful people, primarily Democrats, have a lot to lose in this case. And I'm going to tell you something else. The fact that Jim Comey's daughter is one of the prosecutors is not a good look either. There's a lot to question in this case, but if you think this is going to get to the bottom of the truth, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, one of the things. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to get Melanie's reaction here. Sure. Let's take a listen to Maxwell's brother.
The authorities lost Epstein on their watch in federal custody, theoretically under 24/7 guard, and they're taking it out on my sister. And that's just damn wrong. The denial of bail is wholly inappropriate. Ghislaine is a woman who somehow doesn't get bail.
Melanie, what's your approach on, or your thoughts on the fact that they would deny bail?
I was a little surprised that they denied bail. It was on the grounds that she's a flight risk, which she probably is, but they could take away her passport or something like that. The fact that she's been locked up all this time and that crazy person who drove through the parade was out on $1,000 bail is a little ridiculous and just shows, the need for some changes in the legal system. No doubt about it. But I also agree with what Ford said earlier. This is legal theater. Nothing's going to really happen to Ghislaine Maxwell because, like Ford said, there are way too many people who are involved in this. And the fact that one of the first moves that the judge made was to say, oh, we have to redact a whole bunch of stuff because it's just a little too spicy is essentially what the judge said is why that stuff has to be redacted. I smell a rat, and I think Ford's exactly right. Nothing's going to happen here.
Yeah, and what I don't want to be lost in all of this is I've always felt like there are certain crimes, like crimes of passion, where, somebody shoots somebody because of a lot going on. This is preying on the powerless. If these stories are true, these girls had no power over these men, and in this case, a woman helping the efforts. And they are abused and groomed for that. And then I just think that's unconscionable. To me, those are the people you should throw in jail and throw the key away. Enough other things are in there. This isn't taken seriously enough, and I hope they do take it seriously, and I hope somebody is held accountable. But Ford, you're probably right. It's going to be a slap on the wrist, and I think that's so unfortunate. We're going to leave it there. Ford O'Connell, Melanie Collette, thank you so much. Always a pleasure having both of you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.